This is the S&P 500 Spider ETF SPY one-day reading for May 15th, 2024. It's currently April 10th, 2024, 12:57 p.m. Eastern Time. SPY at the time of this reading, $514.10. That's USD. The shuffle video that we're playing for you in the lower left corner was created on March 10th, 2024 at 7:22 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. So the overall theme and behavior for the day, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance on a multi-day scale followed by a decline through key support. Behavior around the highest high, there's a significant trade opportunity when rotating sideways along support near the high. There's behavior around the lowest low for the day. There's a significant reversal, really stand out on a one-day chart at least. And I'm advised to trade around the successfully turning a resistance level into support. That sounds like sideways rotation at a high to me. And there's some trades in here too. We're going to get into all that in just a moment. But before we do that, I want to make sure that everybody's aware. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that by following the rule of karma for the channel. You go to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, and 5% of the profits from every profitable trade utilizing this information should be donated forward to one of these charities, or pick a charity of your choosing as long as you're paying 5% forward, and then 5% should be sent back to the channel through one of these links. If you're international, you can use Wise or you can use YouTube tips. And that leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you follow the rule of karma for the channel, the universe considers you an angel investor. It's going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. All right, so in the pre-market, we have the halting of a bullish trend marked by a decline through key support. And all right, so we open lower in the pre-market, it looks like, and then there's a significant move in the pre-market to the upside, even like a breakout in there. But that's halted by a decline through key support. And then right around the open, we have a decline from a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. In the first half hour, however, that turns into a big move to the upside, pushing the upper end of a range higher. And then that becomes erratic behavior between roughly 10 and 11 o'clock. Erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. In the midst of that, we should revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. There should be a lot of price change in there around 10:15-ish in the midst of that erratic behavior, and a big move to the upside closer to like 10:45. The rally's halted somewhere around around 11 o'clock, maybe a little bit after, with a big move higher, like ending a rally along a diagonal trend line, big move higher, and then a breakdown through the diagonal trend line with increasing volatility into a trough just before 12 o'clock, and that'll be probably a day's low or a very significant low. The low might actually be closer. It's somewhere between 11:45 and 1 o'clock. I'm leaning closer to 12 o'clock though. And then we have a lot of volatility. There's another failed attempt to break through key resistance here right around 1 o'clock, and that's a trade opportunity opening up a short position. It's probably a very similar price level to what we already saw here as a high in the earlier part of the day. And from that price level, that resistance, we should decline pretty notably. So you could open up a short position, which you could then probably close at the close, or maybe at the end of the day on the 15th even. We'll look at that in more detail when we get there. But for a day trade, you could probably close it at the close. If I'm wrong, then you would be able to do it in the next 2 days. But there should be a pretty big move to the upside from a low to a high, or vice versa. It's a little difficult because they're kind of on top of each other. But I think it's probably from a low to a high. So we go from like a high to a low to a high right there. And so you could close out of it at a low for a day trade, open up a long position, and probably close a long position for a scalp day trade right before the close. I might be wrong about that though, because these two are stacked on top of each other. So be very careful with that. Interesting. So see this Valor card's here appearing at the end of the day, and it's the theme card here. So it might be that we get to a low here, and then overnight there's a notable move. But I think we probably go lower. And then there's this big move out of the pre-market from the bottom of a range, out of a decline from the bottom of a range to the top of a range, taking us either into a high at the in the pre-market, and actually taking us from a high in the pre-market, declining, and then rallying back to a high around the open. It'll be in the first half hour. It'll be like an unexpected move to the upside, like even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds. And then we've got this pop and drop that should stand out between 10 and 11. Bumping along resistance sideways at key resistance somewhere there between 10 and 12 o'clock, and from that resistance we should break down with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. I'm advised to be cautious in that middle portion of the day between roughly 12 and 1. There's sideways rotation. All right, so we've got this bumping along resistance and this move to the upside. So we end up at a low. I would say that's a good place to cash out of a short. It looks like the VIX probably comes down from a peak as well on the 15th. Sneak preview for the following day, another pop and drop, move higher followed by a full retracement back down. There should be out of a low a pretty notable move to the upside here. But it's interesting because that's how I'm picking it up. However, like the high and the low are sort of reversed in time. So they're kind of stacked on top of each other, making it a little bit difficult to determine. But when in real time we get to this point, you'll be able to determine very, very easily what these cards mean, and that will help you to make the proper trade at that time. You'll see what I mean when we get there. But that's SPY for the 15th of May. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow that rule of karma. You know where to go. You know what to do. Blessings to all my angel investors. Guys, if you want to get this information sooner, you can get our early access on our website, one of our more popular subscriptions. You go to our services, hover over our services, click on SO Meta Posts. Right here at the top, early access, click here to subscribe. $59 a month, $4.99 for the year, gets you the earliest access to any of our public posts that's possible. Like we came out a little bit late on these May dailies, but the remainder of the May dailies should all be up by tomorrow, by the 11th. And anybody who doesn't have early access will have to wait until 30 days prior to that, to each day for that daily to come out. And with that said, guys, thanks for watching. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.